Cooperative learning is a student-centered educational model. It promotes teamwork as well as individual thinking. So, how does a teacher use cooperative learning in the classroom? Use direct instruction to introduce the new material. This is especially necessary when teaching arithmetic and grammar skills. If students have not been taught how to work a problem, then they will probably be frustrated and give up. We do not want to set them up for failure. Giving instruction first will also reduce the number of questions students will need to ask the teacher, which frees up the teacher to move around the classroom identifying true needs. Prepare for the cooperative learning activity. One obvious preparation is to have all supplies ready and easily available for students to access. Fumbling around at the last minute to grab supplies out of the closet leaves time for students to find their own activities to engage in, which may not be the ones the teacher wants them to be doing. Prepare the students for transitions. Perhaps your desks are in rows and need to be moved into groups. Have students practice moving their desks into a group setting and then move them back as if they were finished. Explain the steps clearly and concisely before practicing. Explain where materials will be kept. Cooperative learning provides a wonderful opportunity for students to learn to work as a team. However, our students may not have the social skills developed yet to be encouraging and/or confrontational. Teach them how to be encouraging by giving a few examples of sentences they can use. Then, have students volunteer more encouraging sentences. Do the same for confrontational sentences. Have them practice with each other. Be very clear on your behavioral expectations. How quiet or loud can their voices be? What if they cannot agree as a group? How are they to treat each other if they disagree? Give rules for sharing if students are still at the age where they need to learn to share. And then, be positive. God wants us to do things wholeheartedly for His glory. If you have not provided a cooperative learning experience for your students, you may be uncomfortable doing it the first time. Students will pick up on your attitude. Studies showed that some students complained the first time they experienced cooperative learning, but as the days went by, they became more positive about the experience. Children are flexible and can accept change. We as teachers should be willing to change too. How should the groups be set up? The ideal group size is 4 to 6 students. If there are too many students, and not everyone will be involved. If there are too few students, then the activity may take too much time and a true group has not been formed. Assign roles to the students. Someone can get the supplies to the group. Another may be assigned to be the writer. He will be the one to keep track of the ideas of the group and write the conclusions to be shared with the class. If a time limit is needed, then one student can be the timekeeper. Remember, being a timekeeper does not mean the student does not have to participate in the activity. He must still contribute ideas and do the work to complete the activity. At the end of the activity, allow time for group processing. This is where each person in the group analyzes how his peers did in participating and contributing to completing the activity. When students know that their peers are going to judge them, they may be more motivated to participate. Assessment is important to determine how each student is learning. You may want to carry a clipboard around with you as you move from group to jot down notes or fill in a rubric to keep track of each student's progress. Remember, your role is to facilitate, not to do. After the activity, you may provide a post-test to determine the level of understanding of students as individuals. So plan on the time that you will need if you are going to give a post-test. I trust these 4 steps will help you as you set up cooperative learning experiences for your students.